All right, Jake, man, glad to have you on. So this is the first of our, I guess it's like the BaseMap Ambassadors podcast series. So
Yep.
hoping to get a bunch of our ambassadors and for on and kind of introduce BaseMap users to the folks that are out there hunting, fishing, trapping, hiking, using BaseMap, year after year, giving us product feedback. And really, I think BaseMap's a little different than other mapping companies. Like we don't, we have in the past, but recently we've really just kind of focused on not your celebrities, but, the average guys and gals out there who just love hunting and getting it done. So happy to have you on today. And why don't you tell everybody a little bit about, who you are, where do you live, and what do you do for a living outside of, obviously you got some great bucks on the walls. So we know you're, good at killing some big whitetails, but
Yeah, I try. I'm not saying I'm
yeah,
good, but I get lucky every once in a while.
right
No,
on, right on.
yeah, no, I'm originally from southeast Alabama,
Okay.
more easterly Alabama, close to the Georgia line. That's where I was raised my whole life. I went to high school deer hunting mostly with my grandfather.
Yep.
We're in like a hunting camp. Through like
Okay.
a lumber company. They had those big properties out down there, and that's how people get their leases, and it turns into a hunting club.
Yeah, yeah. Is it like Potlatch, Weyerhaeuser, probably one of them guys, huh?
It's mostly I
Something.
think it was Mead
Me?
property.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
Yep.
So that's where I grew up, like cutting my teeth, trying to kill a little dinker 4 point or something like that, and
Anything. That I'm
anything,
with you, man. I'm with you. That
anything.
was the way I grew up too.
No, yeah, and I mean, I loved it. I was
Yeah.
bit by the bug as a little kid. Just loved being out there with my grandfather and hunting and all that good stuff. But yeah, I got into hunting around there. I had a buddy from high school who liked to bow hunt a lot, and he got me into bow hunting.
Uh-huh.
I got bit hard by the bow hunting bug when I was a teenager, so that was
Yeah.
really cool. Killed my first deer with a bow was a buck, and that was awesome. But yeah, coming out of high school though, I joined the military and I got stationed at Fort Drum, New York
Okay.
for 4 or 5 years, and I was there. And I liked it. The duck hunting was really good up there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I kind of switched into duck hunting and more deer hunting while I was up
Yep.
there,
Yep.
and mostly did that. And it came down to me leaving, and I was like, well, I want to go somewhere inside the United States, and like I can still keep outdoors hunting and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And Fort Riley, Kansas was like my only option.
Okay.
And I'm like,
Okay.
well,
Yeah.
I was like, they have big lakes there, good
Yeah, you got
fishing.
the
That's
reservoir
like,
not too
I'm
far
like,
away. Yep.
and they got big deer in Kansas. So I'm like, switching gears.
Sold.
I'm back into deer hunting. Let's go. So
Yep. Yep.
that's how I came. When I came to Kansas, I literally sold all my duck hunting stuff, even though it's premier duck hunting here too. Like
Yeah.
guys, I
Yeah,
have a
there's
ton of buddies that love duck hunting. They slay the ducks every year, but like I'm
hmm
more geared towards the whitetail. But
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, I came here and just started, picking back up on deer hunting and stuff like that. And I really wanted to focus on bow hunting because here your season's primarily bow season.
Yep.
So
Yep.
we have a very short gun season, which is fine. I mean, last year was the first time I actually picked up a rifle to deer hunt in, I think, 10 years.
Okay.
And got
Okay.
invited to go on a late season doe hunt, which is rifle. And
Yeah.
that was pretty fun.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Cool. So
but
are you still active military then or are
nope,
not? No.
nope.
Okay.
I'm officially out.
Okay.
Had to medically retire, so that was kind of unexpected for me and my
Yeah.
family.
Yep.
But we wanted to be here, and we're like, you know what? Let's just go ahead and buy a house because we'd already been here for almost 7 years, which is pretty unheard of in the military. Because the military, they try to keep you moving, going different
Uh-huh.
places.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I just end up playing my cards right, and I end up staying here longer and longer and longer. And so we ended up just buying a house when we found out I was going to get out. So I was like, yeah, we're just going to stay here then.
Yeah, yeah. So cool. So you're out there kind of by Fort Riley then. I'm a little familiar with Kansas. I lived in that state for Man, how long was I there? We lived in the Kansas City area. I went to KU for a while, grad school there. My wife was at Washburn and Topeka, getting a law degree. So, um, I, I feel like I squandered my time on school instead of hunting. I'd go out every year, but it was, whatever I could muster up, usually during the gun season. I was just like, if I can see a doe, hunting some of the public land around there, like I'd be happy to take it.
Yeah.
So, and I think I did shoot like a little 7 point one year, but yeah, I had my cousin come down from Minnesota, and he hunted kind of in the central part of the state and smoked just a tank or 15 point whitetail. That was huge.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's some good bucks out there,
Yeah.
which is it's good, definitely good hunting in Kansas
Oh yeah.
for deer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice. So it's definitely a bow hunter's dream. And
Yeah.
I got bit with the bow hunting bug as a teenager, and I did pause there for a little while I was in New York and I was duck hunting a lot. But like
Yeah.
once I came here, I was like full blown ready to go.
Just
like,
on it. Yeah.
Yeah. Shooting all the time. It was just a good time.
That's
And it
cool.
was nice because like I'd only killed like maybe one or two deer with my bow
Yeah. Yeah.
as a teenager, and then when I left for the military, I didn't kill a deer with a bow for a long time. I get to Kansas and I end up shooting like a little raghorn 7 point the second day of the season, not thinking in my mind like, oh, we only get one buck tag here, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I just wanted to kill something.
Done. Yep.
I had to get something on my bow, and then everybody's like, you should have done that. Like you got a lot of season left, and I had cameras out all year, and I'm like, yeah, I shouldn't have done that. I should have waited.
Should have waited.
But
That's great.
yeah.
That's great. How
Yeah.
so how did you link up with BaseMap? How did that relationship form?
So honestly, like I was when I got here, like I said, I was trying to absorb a lot of stuff about bow
Yeah.
hunting, Midwest, and I end up crossing honestly YouTube channels.
Okay.
And
Yep.
that's when like the e mapping and scouting, all that stuff was starting to ramp up. It was like
Yep.
I want to say it was in 2019, 2018. It's like that stuff really started picking up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I learned about BaseMap through a YouTube influencer because I was just
Okay.
watching videos, and
Yep.
and that's how I learned about it. So I googled it and started looking up. And like at the time, I had used like a few other mapping systems,
Yeah.
but they're too expensive. The maps didn't look good, or whatever the case may be. And I'm like, let me look at BaseMap and see what it's all about. And I end up really liking the mapping on it. The mapping was very similar to Google Maps.
Yep.
And like
Yep.
how clear it was.
Good imagery.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah, the imagery is literally what sells me on the BaseMap all the time. I'm like, man,
Yep.
I just
Yep.
prefer this imagery over anybody else's. But yeah, I just fell into it and I started using it, plotting points all the time, just
Yeah.
just for mark and sign and all that stuff. And obviously, it's gotten night and day difference over the years. Like
Yeah.
there's some things about BaseMap that I just can't live without. The wind indicator.
Oh
For
yeah.
whitetail,
Yep. Yep.
huge. Yeah, huge. Like the wind indicator, and for me in my area, the 3D maps shows. So the 3D maps here is the winter layer. So everything's open for me on the 3D maps. I can see
Nice.
everything very clear. So like early September when bow season starts,
Yep.
you can't see nothing because all the foliage, but I can turn on that 3D layer and it's the winter map that was taken.
And you can see it. Cool.
Yeah, I can see a whole lot more topography. I can see drainages and ditches and creeks
Yep.
and stuff that normally doesn't pick up on topo.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Right.
it's really
Right.
nice.
Cool. So on your as your plan, well, lay out your hunting season. Like what's that generally look like? Are you specifically whitetail? Do you do other hunts like, you do any elk hunts or anything like that?
No, actually, the elk hunt that I had this year, I drew a
Yeah.
once in a lifetime elk tag here in Kansas. Only residents can draw it. It's a once in a lifetime
Sweet.
tag. Yeah, and it was my first time with a tag in my pocket actively chasing elk.
Was
So-
that on the fort?
Yes. Yep. So
Awesome.
that
Awesome.
tag is for Unit
Yeah.
2, which is Fort Riley.
Yep.
So they reintroduced elk in central Kansas back in the 90s because
Yep.
Kansas used to be a natural state for elk to be in, but due to all
Yeah.
the hunting back in the day, it kind of pushed them out.
Right.
So if they're Rocky Mountain elk, there's some studs out here, and there's, the cows are
Yep.
really big. They
Yep.
do things just like Rocky Mountain elk do. It's just different because it's more open out here, so you can see a little bit more if you're in the right spots. But
Yep.
as far as the use in the terrain, they're just like deer. They use the terrain just like deer. They're getting down in ditches, and they stay down in cedar thickets for cover.
Yep.
Bedding.
Yep.
But yeah, this was my first time actually elk hunting. I'm usually a whitetail and turkey guy. That's usually about all I do. I just started venturing into like traveling hunting for turkey like 2 years ago now.
Yep.
A year ago now I started travel turkeying, and I've been going out to western states, South Dakota, Montana, Wyoming. Trying to just
hitting all
feel
those.
for it. Yeah, just knocking out states and just having fun with some buddies, and it's really making me want to do different hunts though, because I've always talked about going elk hunting because I got a buddy who's done it, and like he killed a bull out in Colorado a couple years ago.
Yep.
I'm like, man, that's awesome. I really want to do that, but I really want to do it with my bow. So when I got lucky enough to draw this tag, that's a once in a lifetime tag, because I've been applying for it for 5 or 6 years.
And
it's hard to get. I know guys that's been applying for 30 years and never drew it. So
yeah. Well, it's got the, they've got the bonus point style system in there. So and it's a little wonky, and I don't think it's super clear the way they lay it out, but Kansas is one of the states we cover in the hunt planner. So I've worked with the KDWP to get the data and run simulations, and so they have kind of a hurdle system where if you're like initially everybody's put into a basket, but they end up only selecting 100 using kind of that bonus point system, and then it goes into out of that 100 they select the winners. But your folks that are just normal residents have a lower chance than the military members, which kind of makes sense. They're on the base, so they give the service members a better chance of drawing that hunt. But
which is really cool. I've seen guys who their first year ever putting in, and they get it right off the rip. A good buddy of mine, it was his first year putting in. It was also his last year in the military, so he was getting out. So last time getting that extra preference, and he ended up drawing the bull tag.
That's awesome.
And I've known my buddy of mine. He put in for 3 years and drew a cow tag, and that's when I went hunting with him and out there and got to actually do it. So that was really cool. And it took me 6 years to get the bull tag, and this was my last year in too. So this is my last year of getting that extra preference. So I got really lucky and really blessed for that.
Yeah, that's great. So curious about the difference between and maybe there is no difference, but do you use BaseMap differently when you're thinking about turkey hunting versus whitetail hunting? Like, are you using different layers or different features, or is it, kind of the same tool set really?
It's kind of the same tool set. I usually use the 3D maps with the topo overlay as well, so I can see like how much elevation I'm trying to get over, or how much elevation the animal's got to get over to come to me for turkey hunting. But that's really my go-to. I usually have mine stock set up in the 3D layer with the topo overlay, and then have that wind indicator. I'm ready to
go. Yeah, for sure. It's crazy how important that wind ends up being, and just even like stand selection, right? Do you use the weather center? Do you have set stands, or are you a tree saddle guy? You're mobile, or how do you approach your whitetail hunts?
Both.
A little bit of both, yeah.
Yeah, a little bit of both. I have preset stand locations that are so like over feeders and stuff like that, over food. But there's a couple pieces of public that I hunt very often that I have my saddle and all that stuff to go with on a moment's notice if I need.
Okay. Cool. How I've not saddle hunted. It's one of the things I'm like, man, I should get into it. But we bought 40 acres, and so I just I'm like hunting the 40 acres, and it's I don't know. I find it's hard to get out during archery season here. It's a long archery season. I'm in Arkansas now. But I don't know, 2 little kids, it's like super hard to find time. So
All right, I understand. I got a 2-year-old and 7-year-old. Luckily, my 7-year-old, he's bit with wanting to go deer hunting and turkey hunting. So like a lot of times I'll just take him. So it's nice.
Oh, that's
I can't
awesome.
take him saddle hunting yet, but I'll take him to one of my blinds or stands that I know he can get in with me. But
yeah, that's cool. How's he like that? Like, um, is he engaged the whole time, or you
deer
kind
hunting,
of give him like a screen or some toys to watch, kind of.
it depends. It depends on the mood and the day. But like deer hunting, like it's a little hard for a 7-year-old to like keep. So I have to like time it just right. Like it's usually afternoon sits, and I'm trying to get in there like an hour and a half, 2 hours before dark, before the deer start moving. That way, I have a very small window for him to really get bored and be like, "Can we go? Can we go?"
Yeah, right.
And I try to like get him pumped up. And I show him pictures of like the deer and the buck showing up. I'm like, "Hey, like if we're patient,
this could come out.
this could come out." I'm like, "You just gotta be patient." But he's really bit by the turkey bug right now. He loves turkey hunting. I'm a run and gun style hunter. That's how I came up doing it. So like that's how I like to do it, and he loves it too. He loves to get out there and chase turkeys and hear them gobble, call to them, move on them. Yeah, so he loves that.
That's good. And just it's so great to get kids out and introduced to it young like that, because if you're, like you said, like you're methodical about it, you're thinking about them and how to keep them engaged in the hunting. And not just being like sit in the stand and shut up. So that's awesome. I just got back from grouse hunting in Canada with my father-in-law, and I took my he'll turn 4 here in about 2 months, but my little boy was with me, and he thought that was pretty fun because it was one, we just it's like the best grouse hunting I've ever seen. We each got our possession limit. It's 15 grouse in 3 days, so it's 5 grouse a day. We'd go out for like 2 hours, and we've got our limits for the day. So it was a ton of action, and you're walking and stuff, you don't have to really be quiet. So yeah, he thought it was pretty amazing. He can't wait to go back. He wants to go deer hunting with me this year, and I'm like, I think if I take him with, it's going to be I'm going to use your advice, like an evening sit. We'll go out like an hour before dark, and I'll give him some snacks or something that he can munch on and try to keep him engaged, because you don't want a kid having to sit still for too long when they're young like that. They just can't do it. So.
Yep. Especially with the time change, because like my kids they're in bed 39 o'clock, like strictly, and it's like, hey man, if I take you hunting, like when we come back, like I need you to go straight to bed. Like it's no messing around. But I want to watch a movie. I want to do this. I want to read a book. And it's like, but if we're gonna go hunting, we're gonna go do this. I'm like, you can bring a book, but like I try to do that here. This last year was a big learning curve with him. This last year was the first year that I actually took him deer hunting, and I learned a lot. So this year, like, I instead of bringing electronics, he loves to read, so like I'll have him bring a couple books, and he'll just read his books or whatever. And I'm usually sitting there with my binos looking around. I gave him my pair of binos and my old bino harness, so he thinks it's cool that he's got his own, and he'll sit there and he'll look around and like, what are you looking at, Dad? Do you see something? I'm like, I'm just looking. I'm just like looking at the
Yep. 100%. Yeah. The binoculars are a great. That's like a pro tip. Kids love binoculars. I made the mistake of letting my boy use my good binoculars just like out on our deck here, and he's looking all around. But oh my gosh, after like the 15th time he dropped them, I gotta go order a cheap pair for him. That'll be his binoculars, because he's gonna have mine ruined. And I definitely had an eyepiece that was like it's a little offset now, and I'm like, oh man.
Yeah, we definitely for the past couple of years he's had the little like Tascos or Nikons from
Yep.
Walmart or something just to be like, oh yeah, I got binoculars too. And then now that he's older and he's been hunting for a few years with me, it's like, all right, I'm gonna let you use these this season, but you take care of them because those are my backup. So if my my
Yeah.
main break, I need those back. So please don't break them. He's been doing good with them though.
That's good. That's good. Um, when when do you see kind of rut activity start kicking off in your area? Like, does, I guess bow season runs into the rut in Kansas. I mean, rifle season's really post rut there
Yeah, no, but yeah, bow season
generally.
runs from September, I think it's September 16th this year till December 31st. So bow
Yeah.
season's a long time. But yeah,
Okay.
on rut activity, it usually starts picking up the last week of October. Like
Yep.
it's not common to see a younger buck chasing that one particular doe that he thinks is in heat in
Yep.
October. That last week of October though, I'm trying to hunt sign,
Yeah.
rub lines,
Okay.
a good use scrape, something like that is what I'm
Got it.
looking.
So are you do you Jeff and I were talking about this yesterday. We are thinking about some marketing stuff, and do you use BaseMap to mark like those rub lines and
Oh yeah.
stuff? Do you use a lot of that, and then kind of,
Mm-hmm.
zoom out to understand those rub lines in
Yep.
relationship to topography, and trying to figure out like, okay, where exactly are these deer moving? Why is this rub line here? That
Yep.
type of stuff.
No,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's exactly what I do. If I start finding sign that makes
Yep.
sense that coming from like a thicket, if I'm finding rubs going the opposite way of that thicket, I'm like, okay, that's probably where he's bedding, or he's coming through to at least check doe bedding, and
Yeah.
he's coming out through there. There's probably gonna be a scrape down in a low spot. I'm
Yep.
gonna mark that. If anything that I can find along field edges, if there's scrapes along a field edge, yeah, all that stuff. I'm throwing. If you look at my map,
It's
it's just
a lot of
plot
pins.
point. Plot. I really need to get down with my pin management, but
I know. I know. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I've just, I'm like bad, about just dropping. I just like, there's the green basement, default location marker.
yeah.
So I got a lot of that, but on my, um, I got back from the elk hunt in Colorado. I did one the last week of September. Maybe I'll post a shot of it in this video, but I finally, I was like, okay, I'm gonna be methodical about dropping pins. I'm gonna,
Mm-hmm.
like, they're gonna be color coded. I'm gonna not just be like, okay, I saw, some elk here, I saw some sign. I'm just gonna drop a default location marker. So then I have to go back in and be like, okay, what was it that was there? Maybe I drop a note, but this time I was like, all right, bulls are gonna be red, and I'm gonna drop a bull marker, and like I'm gonna know what exactly it was that I saw there.
Yep.
So, and it,
Absolutely.
it was it was awesome to see after the fact. Like after the hunt, I was like, oh, okay, things start making a little bit more sense when I leverage the, utility that's there, and
Yeah.
dropping all the different colored pins and markers, and
Yeah.
trying to do it in a systematic way. But you almost have to like kind of think about that in advance. It's kind of hard if
Yep.
you're in the moment. So yeah.
I'm really bad about like doing that for shed hunting because I get excited
Oh yeah. Okay.
and I'll take pictures of it and I'm like looking at it and I'm like cool and I just start like moseying off like still looking at the shed and I'm like crap I didn't mark where I found that because like
Yep.
doing that with sheds is really good because historically
Oh.
like if they're good use pass like you'll find
Yep.
sheds there every year if you're lucky especially like
Yeah.
on public land like that's big.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. For sure.
yeah.
So do you? It sounds like maybe you got a combination of private and public that you hunt,
Yeah.
or yeah.
Yep.
Okay. And then like the private that you have access to, is that, how'd you get access to that? Is that just folks you know, or you go door
So
knock or something?
so one of them yes was someone I
Yeah.
knew. They're good family friends of ours now. We
Cool.
first met them when we first moved to Kansas. They're actually our landlords,
Yeah.
and they ended up becoming close friends with us. And we had a conversation with them last year because we were thinking about because they had another house they wanted to rent. We ended up moving out of the house we previously rented from them because they sold the place.
Yep.
And we just got, just talking to him, and he's like, "Hey, you gonna take Jed hunting this year?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I think that's my son, Jed."
Yep.
And I'm like, "Yeah, I think he's getting that age. I think I'm gonna take him. He did well turkey hunting. I think this year I'm gonna take him deer hunting."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Well," he's like, "if you want," he's like, "you two can just hunt behind my house."
Cool.
I'm like, oh, I was like, okay. I didn't even think about it.
Yeah.
But, I was like, yeah, I appreciate that. So that's how that ended up coming up. And then me and a buddy of mine, we got a lease from a farmer.
Okay.
We paid for it because his family also leases from him, and he offered it to me and him, like, hey, if y'all want to lease this, y'all can lease this. I'm like, okay, cool. So that's what we ended up doing. So that's a 75 acre piece. That's not far from here. And then I got a really good farm this year because I saw a really big buck on the side of the road, and I just looked at the map because I seen him twice, and I'm like, all right, if I see him twice, like, he's staying somewhere around here. Like, it's not just because he was running through there or something. So in the off season during the summer, I'm like, I'm gonna start looking and door knocking on these properties. So that's what I did. I started door knocking.
Okay.
I finally ended up getting a yes, and it was the property adjacent to where I saw that big buck. So
awesome.
Yeah, I haven't seen him yet, so I don't know.
Yeah.
All the crops are getting cut right now. Acorns are falling. We had a really good acorn crop this year, so deer has been very slow due to that.
They're fat and happy right now. So that's cool. That's cool. So what's kind of your plan of attack, when you get access to a property? Like how do you think about approaching it? Do you just, is it like go in, scout it, find trails and stuff, or
I'm usually honestly I'll look at the map before I even knock on the door. I'm like, yes, it's Kansas. Like, usually, like, at one point you're gonna have a good deer walk on that property if you're in Kansas. Unless it's just a wide open, you know what I mean? Even then, like, it could probably still happen.
But if there's cover, if there's any type of cover on that property, you're probably going to have deer using it.
And that's what I'm usually looking for is cover. What's the property, like, how does this property work with the property adjacent? Maybe I think the deer is living over here, so let me look at the maps. So, and that's usually what I do. I look at the map before I even knock on the door. Like, is it worth going to talk to this person about? Knocking on doors is not easy. Like, it's you don't know who's gonna answer the door.
Right. Yeah. Sometimes they're like super angry, and other times they're just the nicest folks on planet Earth.
Well, I end up knocking on the door because of that big buck that I saw on the road, and because it was the property that I wanted, because it was where that deer came off of. And I went to that property to door knock. No one was there, but they had a farm dog. And that farm dog did not like me being there. So he tore up a nice pair of my boots just because of it.
Oh, no.
I was like, golly. I was just over here knocking on the door. I was trying to just go back to the truck and leave, do nothing. Just door knock. And that dog didn't like me being there. So, but that's what I'm saying. Like, sometimes is it worth it? Because you don't know what's going to happen when you step on somebody's property, even if you have good intentions. So.
Yep. For sure. Yeah. So you got access to a property and you start hunting it. Mm-hmm. Let me back up a second. Are you a trail camera guy? Like, are you putting trail cameras out too? Yeah. And then
I love trail cameras. I love getting pictures of deer because, you never know what you get on camera. Even if it's a deer that you didn't know was there, or you just never know what you'll get on camera. You'll get cool wildlife pictures in general just on camera. And I find that fascinating. I love waking up at night and what I got, in the morning, like what I get, overnight. So that's like the fun factor to it. It's kind of a exciting thing to look at.
Yeah. It's also another great way to get your kids engaged. Like you're talking about showing them pictures. That's, same thing with my boy. Like we'll go put the trail camera out, let it sit there for a few days, see what we get for pictures, what we don't get. If it's not producing, It's like, all right, let's go move it somewhere. Where do you want to move it, Theodore? And he's like, oh, let's go put it over here. It's like, okay, let's go try that spot. Just a good way to get them out and engage.
Yeah.
So
I will 100% say, like, this deer right here in the middle,
yeah,
like, trail cameras killed that deer.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
I had a feeder going. It was on one of my permission pieces, and like it was the tail end of the rut. He disappeared during the rut, like all deer do. I
yep,
hunted adjacent, areas like that had the closest public land and tried to find him, trying to figure out like where he went, and I couldn't find him during the rut. I'm like, well, I'm just gonna have to hope for the best when this big cold front hits after, at the end of November,
yeah,
and hope
yeah.
nobody shoots during rifle season. And he ended up showing up like November 18th. He daylighted that morning on the 18th. He daylighted that evening on the 18th.
Sweet.
And then I was like, I've got to be there in the morning. So I
Yep.
went in there and I killed him on the morning of the 19th. I'm like,
Nice.
and I hadn't seen the deer. I hadn't got pictures of the deer for like 2.5 weeks. And I had him
Yeah.
on camera every single night
Yep.
for like a
Yep.
month. And he just disappeared and he came back and I had to capitalize on it.
Went and did one of those big loops for does,
Probably, yeah.
First came back, yeah.
Yeah, like these deer, they'll find even if it's just a little ditch going through a field, they'll find it and they'll get in it and they'll just cruise. And that's another thing I look for on the map. Like a lot of these little ditches through these ag fields, it usually doesn't show up on the topo because it's not that big of a change. It's on like a 5-foot ditch, but those deer will get in that ditch and they'll run for miles, especially during the rut.
Yep.
And that's what
sure.
That's what I try to look for in the map layers is like, okay, let me see what it looks like during the summer. Let me see what it looks like during the winter. And you'll just see a gully going through a field. And it's just a ditch that was just, they don't farm that piece. They plant around it. And those deer get in and they'll just go.
Yep. It's those types of features tend to show up good too on the new LiDAR layer as well. Yep. So that's a good one to start testing out too a little bit and see. I know I've seen same thing here on my property, like the topo. Been thinking about creating actually more high, I guess I'll call it high resolution topo, where we'd have like a line at maybe 3-foot intervals in, kind of call it the eastern US where it's a little flatter and some of the Midwest, so that you'd be able to see those subtle changes. But you also you can see it on LiDAR too if you pull it up. So, but yeah, it's crazy, watching those terrain features. Like you said, anything that's, and I don't know how many times I've seen whitetails like crouch down and, they're just like, they're booking, they're not standing up, but now they're, instead of being, head at 4 feet, they're like 2 feet, and you're like, what? How did I see that deer? And you're like, well, there's just a little elevation change and they disappear.
A buddy of mine last year, a deer he killed, he had like several years of history, and it came down to like that deer lived in a road ditch.
Yeah.
Literally a road ditch. Like he would, and there were several times that him and somebody else that was also hunting the area saw the deer in the road ditch. They just thought he was in it and going through it. Like, no, he would bed down in the road ditch. And you couldn't see him. The grass was so tall in the road ditch. So, I mean,
crazy.
Yeah, like he always just stayed right there next to the road. He wasn't afraid of it because he could always see vehicles coming past, or if somebody stopped to try to hunt there, like he would see them. He'd just stay hunkered down until they got out, and then he would cross the road.
Yeah. They are sneaky.
Yeah.
Nope. Yeah. They get big for a reason. So, so Kansas has got like the walk-in access program. You leverage that at all? Or I guess there's some around your area, right? It gets a lot more property as you start to go further west in the state. But yeah,
I utilize walk-in a lot. Not so much for deer hunting, but like whenever I'm in the late winter, like coyote hunting or coon hunting or something like that, I really like to utilize those weehaw, because usually those weehaws they're a piece of farm ground that the farmer doesn't want. They'll lease it out for weehaw, and so usually coons and coyotes are going to be near there. So I like to use those weehaw settings on there for that, just to go bounce from section to section.
Yep.
Hunting different stands. So
Yeah, that's pretty fun. I was actually, we've got a bird dog, so kind of a, I should say we've got a great house pet that was supposed to be a bird dog. Um, Before we moved from Kansas, I was like, man, I really want to start upland bird hunt more. So, great pheasant hunting out on a lot of that weehaw in the western part of the state. Some quail as well, kind of in the center and south center. And so anyways, we got a German wire hair pointer, and then we ended up moving down to Arkansas. So we got a lot of birds down here.
Yeah.
Duck hunting in the southeastern part of the state is pretty good, but um, anyways, taking her quail hunt or being up in Canada grouse hunting, I was like, wow, this dog, even though I haven't done anything for training her, can hunt. Like she just, it's bred in her.
Right.
So by the second day, she's like working the cover, uh, not really pointing them, turning to be more of a flusher. Uh, again, my fault, not hers, but it was great watching her work. And I was like, man, I gotta go start hitting up some of the weehaw that's kind of near Arkansas, wouldn't be too far of a drive, and just go see if I can, bounce some quail up off there,
Yeah.
and let her hunt. So, yeah, you do any upland bird hunting or just mostly that kind of that predator and
Yeah, usually just
yeah,
predators in the
okay,
late winter. I'm an opportunistic quail
yeah,
hunter because
yeah,
usually you can hear them. They'll be out in the fields, and usually what happens is I bust them while I'm walking into a deer stand.
yeah,
About gives
exactly.
me a
Like,
heart attack.
okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
and I'll remember that. And like if I go in for like a coon stand or a coyote hunt, I usually
yep,
always take my shotgun, and
yeah,
usually when I'm walking to those stands, I'll put in bird loads just for that because usually they'll flush like right at my feet and they'll give me a good shot. But
perfect, perfect,
yeah, I
yeah,
actually I was coon hunting one day, and I like to call during the day with the e-collar, and
uh-huh,
yeah, I literally just killed a coon, and I could hear after everything calmed down, I could hear a group of bobwhite quail like moving through the woods. So I just got up and
that's
they
great,
hunkered down. I went and flushed them, and I ended up shooting some. So I was like, there you
yeah,
go.
yeah, that's
That's
awesome,
usually about how my quail hunting goes. I have a dog too, but like I wanted to train him for sheds, and
uh-huh,
that didn't end up happening either. So
yeah,
I'm an opportunistic bird hunter. Like for the first time last year, I went with a group of guys pheasant hunting, and we didn't
okay,
even kill any, but it was fun. We flushed some, but we just didn't shoot any.
yep, yep. Well, that sounds like my turkey hunting when I was in Kansas. I would tell people I was opportunistic on the turkey hunting. We go out duck hunting on a few spots, but we'd have, lots of times we had fields behind us, and so um, there'd be the stand of trees on the other side of the pond we were hunting that turkeys would roost in, and
Yeah,
they come flying over, and land in the field in the fall. Actually, I think the Kansas get rid of its fall turkey
it
season. I think it did now.
did.
Um, but yeah, so back when they had it when I was still in the state, then I'd go running gun and turkey. So that was typically the way I got my turkeys in the fall.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Turkey season is definitely my game in the springtime. I
yeah,
want to I keep wanting to like take a break from it just because like, I always wanted to go bear hunting. I've always wanted to go black bear hunting.
yep,
Always like been like something like really cool to do, and I'm like I want to go do that. Like I want to go do that. But turkeys usually end up taking precedent because our season comes in for the youth in early
oh yeah,
March.
yep,
So I'm usually taking kids. I take my son. I try to help out some groups around here that take kids out for the for youth season. So I'm usually turkey season, turkey hunting all the way through May. As soon as the or end of March and beginning of April, and then the adult season comes in mid-April,
yep.
and I'm usually trying to get one right off the rip so I can go somewhere else and go turkey hunt now. So
Yeah, yeah. Cool. Well,
yeah,
all right. We're running up to time here because I got another meeting I gotta go jump on. But thanks for coming on and doing this today. It was great to talk to you and see how you're using BaseMap. Hear a little bit about how your strategies for whitetail hunting and turkey hunting and stuff. And yeah, we'll have to have you on after deer season. see how the hunt goes.
Yeah.
See what happens with the rut this year. So hopefully you get on another nice buck.
I got a couple of them on camera, but trying to keep those on the download right now. But
Yeah.
not trying to oversell it and then underperform. So
Yeah, for sure.
we'll see what happens though.
Cool. Well, thanks, Jake. Good luck with the rut coming up here, and we'll talk to you, hopefully in December, and get a report back on how the season went.
Absolutely.
Cool. All right. Talk to you later, Jake.
Thanks, buddy.